All right, ladies and gentlemen, I want to talk to you about the 3 E's of unstoppable success. No matter what it is that you want to do, if you incorporate these 3 E's, it's game over. Facts. Game over. First E, I want you to write this down. It's called energy. Energy. So I can remember when I was training with Mr. Les Brown and we would be having these late night sessions. We would literally start our speaker training at 9 a.m. and we would end up going until 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. That was not abnormal. And I remember sitting in the hotel room, the ballroom, and people were just, they were running on fumes. And he would always keep saying, energy, 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 get your energy up, get your energy up. And when you have someone who is literally 25 years your senior talking to you about your low energy, it's called a reality check. You're like, oh damn, like I need to step up my game, because if he's coming like this and he's got an extra 25 years of life in the tank and he's outdoing me, I need to increase my energy. And something happens when you take the energy and you're focusing it. Energy affects your income. If you want your income to go up, take your energy up. I'll give you an example. I was in LA and I was staying in the Hollywood Hills with a good friend of mine. And we had just started doing business together. And the business that we were in, it was sales. We were building sales teams. And so we had to do presentations. And one day we were like, let's do back-to-backs. So we decided to purposefully increase our energy that we were directing toward our outcomes, because we wanted our business to grow exponentially. So you know what we did? We would go out to eat every single day, but we never ate alone. We always would sit at the bar. And when we sat at the bar, we would meet, mix and mingle, collect names and numbers. And we started inviting people to come over to his house in the Hollywood Hills to our presentations. So we started the first presentation at noon. Second presentation was at 2. Third presentation was at 4. Next presentation, 6. Last presentation, 8 o'clock. And we put so much energy into what we were doing that we had people coming at 12 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 4 o'clock, getting started and bringing new people back to the 6 o'clock and the 8 o'clock. And so by the end of the day, we had several people that were actually getting paid, making money the same day they got started. Now, that was all new to me, but I never forgot the power of energy, just really increasing your energy. When I was on the football squad, I wasn't really sure what position I was going to play. I just wanted to play. I wanted to have fun, want to hang out with my friends. This is high school. So I like doing stuff athletic, but I was more social than I was athletic. But I remember I'd made a decision to myself that I was going to come with a different type of energy to the practices that we were having. Now, again, I had no idea what position I wanted to play. I made a commitment that I was going to bring more energy and excitement than anyone else on the field. I was going to stand out just by how I was showing up. Not saying I had like great skills. I just had to focus on bringing the energy. And I'll never forget the coaches pulling me off to the side at the end of the week and asking me, what position do you see yourself at? Here's where we see you. But I could tell they were taking me in. They were like, okay, this guy, we got to make sure we put him somewhere in the starting lineup. So energy is powerful, you all. And energy is something that you've heard this before, it can't be created or destroyed. It allows us to really dictate the tone that we're going to set. So you've heard people say, oh, I love so-and-so's energy. When they walk in the room, it's like they just light it up, and people, they want to be around them. There's something about that person's energy that I just vibe with. On the flip side of it, you've heard people talk about, man, when so-and-so comes around, I just want to go in the opposite direction. I really don't want to spend any kind of time in that space because their energy sucks. Some of you all have work situations where you can't control who you have to work with, and you have to manage people that are energy drainers. You have to deal with drama queens and drama kings. people that bring toxic energy and negative energy into your space. And you just have to be very strategic because it affects you. It has an impact on you when somebody's energy is negative. Have you ever noticed that when you're in the midst of a good day, you could be doing anything. You could be hitting all the right notes. You could be answering all the questions with the right answers. You could just be in your zone. And one thing happens and it messes up your whole energy. Somebody cuts you off when you're coming back from your lunch break and you almost hit a tree and you slam on the brakes and your car slides up on the curb. The person that cuts you off, they keep driving and your whole mood changes. It shifts. Your energy just goes in a different direction. So you have to be conscious about making a decision that even when things come up, even when things come my way, I have control over the energy that I'm going to give to it. I have control over the energy that I'm going to subjugate myself to, because if it's work, it's work. It's whatever the hours are. I go in, I do my thing. I manage that time, but I'm really focusing on my work instead of focusing on an energy drainer or a toxic person that might be sitting next to me. But I have control over the people in my environment outside of work. So who am I spending time with? Who am I choosing to pick up the phone and call? Who am I spending my break time with, or my family time with, or my relationship time with? You all have seen this. You have seen people who are great people. They have great energy. They're enthusiastic. They want to be successful in life. They always have a smile. They always have something positive to say. And they get in a relationship with someone who has negative energy or no energy, okay? Both of them are equally impactful, because there's nothing worse than someone who's not hot or cold. They're just neutral. Indifference is what will break apart a relationship, when the partner you're with is just indifferent to you. They could take you or leave you. Listen, I would rather you be madly, passionately in love with me or hate my guts. That way I know what I'm dealing with. But indifference, what's that proverb? You could be hot or cold, but if you're lukewarm, I'm spitting you out of my mouth. Like that's the worst. So we know and understand that the people that we spend time with, that we're choosing, it's about the energy. I am so mindful of that. And even though I may have certain family members that I would never choose to hang with, but because we're related biologically, I have to manage those relationships, but very limited time in that space, because I can't get with that energy. Some of them are just too toxic. They're too negative. It just messes with my vibe. And I'm very sensitive to that. So each of you have to honor who you are. You have to honor your space and protect it and nurture it and grow it and cultivate it. Don't just let any old body come up into your world and mess up your energy, because that's the driver for anything that you want to achieve and accomplish in your life. It's the energy that you're bringing to the equation. Second E, write this down: effort. Effort. What type of effort are you willing to put forth in the things that you're doing? Many years ago, I was in Seattle, Washington. It was the first time I attended this event. So I went to an intro event. It was called a Millionaire Mind Intensive Evening. It was a 3.5-hour evening in New York City. And this gentleman was in the front of the stage, and he was talking about how your mind is a thermostat, and whatever that thermostat number is set, that's the income you're going to make. So if you're making $50,000, $60,000, $80,000 a year, that's your financial thermostat. That's the mind that you're set. So if you want to earn $250,000, $350,000 a year, you got to change your thermostat, because even if you end up somehow earning that type of income, you invariably will self-sabotage, because internally, your internal mechanism is preset to not go beyond $60,000 to $80,000 a year. This is why, by the way, when you see people that win the lottery, a lot of those lottery winners when they get those large sums of money, within 4 to 5 years, they're literally worse than where they were before they won the lottery, because their financial thermostat was not set to have a hold of millions of dollars. They don't know how to handle it. They don't feel worthy. And so they invariably self-sabotage. They do a lot of dumb things, and they end up broker than they were before they won the lottery. So him talking about the financial thermostat, it really captivated my imagination, and I never ever forgot that. But one thing he said that I have said ever since I heard it, which was, how you do anything is how you do everything. How you do anything is how you do everything. He wrote a book called Secrets of the Millionaire Mind. His name is T. Harv Eker. So when you look at your life, and my son was asking me about this, he was like, Dad, what does this mean? And what does that mean? And what's that word again? Because he's looking at all of these affirmations that I have up, downstairs and upstairs. One's on the accountability mirror upstairs, and one's in the main area downstairs. And he's looking at all these affirmations, and he's reading them, and he's asking me, what does that mean? What does this mean? How's that? And so he's like, what, how you do anything is how you do everything. He's like, what does that mean, Dad? I said, well, listen, son, when you make your bed, you make your bed like you're making a Picasso. You make your bed like you're making your favorite meal. You make your bed like you're going to ace that next exam. If you're going to go and help someone, you help them to the best of your capacity. You get there a little bit early, stay a little bit late. Whatever you do, how you do anything is how you do everything. So we don't take anything that we do for granted. I'm letting him know by how I show up, listen, I'm coming to play full out 100% each and every day, because effort is between you and you. It is not a genetic trait. It is not a special gift or talent that anyone has. It is something that you have 100% control over. And if you know you're giving it everything that you have and then some, that is when you begin to discover the person that you have not met that's inside of you. See, I believe in the 40% rule. And this is not mine. This is David Goggins. He's the 36th African-American Navy SEAL to come out. He was also in he trained in the Rangers, Army Rangers. He's done so many miraculous feats. He's an ultramarathon runner. He broke the pull-up record for how many pull-ups you could do in a 24-hour period. He's just a supernatural human being. If you haven't read his book, Can't Hurt Me, read that and then listen to the audio. Read the book and then listen to the audio, and then check out his next book, which is called Never Finished. He's got that here, and then he's got the audio as well. I just finished the book. I'm listening to the audio next. But his thing is we have a governor. So if you have an automobile and that automobile can go over 100 miles an hour based on how it is designed, Can't Hurt Me is the name of it. How it's designed, it can go 100 miles an hour, but it has a governor on it. And Sabrina she'll appreciate this. So one of my boys was rolling back with me to go back to college at the end of the summer. So he helped us move some furniture. We were driving because it was our first apartment off campus. So this is Chris. Me and Chris are driving one truck, and George Jankberg and I want to say it was Nick. I believe it was Nick. Was in another truck. Okay. So Sabrina, we're driving a U-Haul truck, and no, it was a Ryder truck. Matter of fact, it was a Ryder truck. And when we got the truck, we didn't know that it didn't have any AC. There was no air conditioning. And we're driving from Cleveland, Ohio to Atlanta, Georgia in August. Okay. Now we're driving, it's like 99 degrees outside and there's no AC. And we get in the truck and we're driving. And as we get on the highway, we're trying to, make some good time. And we notice that the truck will not go faster than 55 miles an hour. It ain't going no faster than 55 miles an hour. It is a 12-hour drive if you're doing 70, y'all. 12 hours. And I will never forget, we were so freaking miserable because we had no escape. It was just hot and we couldn't get any faster. It was like purgatory. And the truck is like, and we didn't know that there was a governor on a truck. We didn't even know what a governor was. The truck was designed to go over 85 miles an hour, but the manufacturer put a governor on it. And most human beings have a governor on their capacity. They automatically start to make excuses as to why they can't exceed their own self-imposed limitations. If you ask them questions about what they want to achieve, what they want to strive for, a target that they want to hit, an income level they want to experience, a certain amount of physical and health and well-being that they would like to materialize in their life, they will shortchange themselves because they have a built-in governor on their mind. See, a car is not the car it can be when it has a governor on it. Because you're looking at it and you're like, this doesn't make any sense. The car was designed by the manufacturer to go over 100 miles an hour. And yet they built a governor so it can't supersede 55 miles an hour. That's a car that will never experience its capacity. Nobody wants to drive a car like that. Nobody wants to purchase a car like that. Nobody's going to invest in a car like that. And human beings, the manufacturer created human beings with unlimited capacity, created human beings that can realize, if not 100%, damn near close to it, of their capacity based on what? Their effort. Their effort. But most people don't even do that. They won't go there because the governor's so locked in on their mind. I remember at the beginning of the year, I issued a challenge. I said, who wants to do 1,000 push-ups a day? Excuse me, for the first 10 days of the year. Because I knew most people, if you ask them that question, they automatically will dismiss it. Like, Ed, I've never done 20 push-ups in a day. You talking about 1,000? They immediately dismiss it. I'm saying, why wouldn't you ask the question, well, let me break that down. If I really were to break that down, what does that look like? If I'm going to be awake, let's say, for at least 10, let's call it 15 hours of the day, okay? And I take 1,000 and I divide it by 15, well, ladies and gentlemen, that's only 65 push-ups an hour. If I do just 10 push-ups every 10 minutes, I can hit that goal. But instead of focusing on let's make this happen, let me solve for X, right? What am I solving for? Most people immediately completely check out. They don't even entertain the possibility because they're allowing their governor to dictate their choices, their outcomes, their growth or lack thereof. So the governor, ladies and gentlemen, is something that you want to learn how to remove. The way that you do it is by who you're surrounding yourself with. It's who you're listening to. It's the energy that you're putting yourself in. It's all of these things that you're entertaining as possibilities for your life. And if you don't learn how to take better control of that, you'll continue to be an underachiever in all things. And the problem is that if you have any kind of success, the worst part about success is a little bit of it, because then you start to think you're onto something. Then you start to think that you know. Let me tell you all something. When I first started having success in business and I was earning income that I'd never earned before, I literally was like, this is going to be my life for the rest of my life. Like, I'm doing everything right. I'm putting all the work in. And I stopped doing the very things that got me there. I started coasting on my success. I started riding the wave of the momentum I had created instead of focusing on putting forth more momentum and digging for what's beyond the 40% rule. Because most of us, we top out at 40% and then we chill. Matter of fact, most people don't even get to 40%. So imagine if you really start digging for that extra 10, 15%. What if you get to 55%? What would your life look like? What would you achieve? What would you accomplish? I want people to look at me and say, I don't know how he does all of that. That's my goal. That is my aspiration. I want my kids to look at me and say, man, every time I see him, he's always working. He's always doing this. He's always pouring into us. He's pouring into Nadia. He's He's very present. He's, I want them to look at me and be like, man, like, how does he do that? I want to be able to do that. I want to move like that because I don't want to take any time for granted. So the 40% rule, ladies and gentlemen, as you're putting forth effort, if it's a promotion you're aiming for on your job, if it's a goal that you have for personal health and fitness and well-being, if it's a relationship that you want to pour into and nurture and develop, whether if it's an intimate relationship or a familial one or a friendship that you just want to be better at, then put more effort into it. If you have specific personal goals that you want to attain or learn a new skill, put more effort into it. But don't allow the governor to take you out. Third E, excellence. If you have a standard of excellence in how you are showing up, how you're executing, it's going to change how you move. So again, if we go back to the initial one, which is the energy that I'm bringing to the equation, am I a positive person? And I'm not just saying be positive for the sake of being positive, but being positive in the midst of chaos, destruction, difficulties, challenges, weathering storms, being positive in the midst of tremendous setbacks and difficulties and losses and events that are beyond your control. That's when it counts. That's when it matters. And so am I bringing positive energy to the equation? Am I having my energy up? Some of you all, you get on the phone with somebody and you hear their voice and you're like, are you awake? I do a lot of cold calling. So I'm talking to people. I'll just ask them if their energy's low. I'm like, I'm sorry. I know it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon, but were you sleeping? You sound like you were sleeping. No, I wasn't sleeping. Oh, okay. Just wanted to check because you have no pulse right now. I can tell immediately based on somebody's energy if it's even somebody that I even want to deal with based on that alone. So being mindful of the energy that you're bringing to every part of your day and how you're starting your day, setting the tone, how you're moving throughout your day. Because see, you want to go to bed with satisfaction because you started your day with determination. The second E again for the review is the effort that you're putting forth. You want to go beyond the governor and the 40% rule. You want to break that rule, go beyond it. And then third is the standard of excellence. If there's an area of your life that you're not doing well in, it's only because you haven't raised your standards. I was sitting in Unleash the Power Within many years ago, and Tony Robbins was talking and teaching from the stage, and he was breaking some stuff down. But this was one statement that has stayed with me since. I've never ever forgotten it. He said, look, if you are not satisfied with your income, if you're not satisfied with your career, if you're not satisfied with how you look, it's only because of one thing. You need to raise your standards. Raise your standards. Have an expectation of excellence. One of the what's the word? The mantras, if you will. So in our community, the mantra that we would hear all the time, what I heard, you gotta be twice as good if you want to have a shot. You can't just be good. You got to be twice as good, Ed. You can't half-step anything if you want to be successful. You got to have a standard of excellence. And I know some of y'all may have heard when Sean Combs was talking about Black excellence. He was hashtagging Black excellence. He was highlighting the Beyoncés and the Jay-Z's and the other luminaries, Barack Obama, Michelle Obama's, the titans of the world, if you will, because he was talking about excellence. Well, if you look at I love that, Sabrina. If you look at how you're showing up in every facet of your life, mentally, spiritually, physically, nutritionally, relationship-wise, career/profession, financially, if there's any areas that are lacking, you got to raise your standard of excellence. What do? You identify some individuals who are over successful in those areas, and they're going to help you. One of the things that I do is I have counsel, but I have counsel with people that make me uncomfortable. See, the people that give me counsel, they earn over $1 million a month. I've never made $1 million a month. They make me very uncomfortable. They remind me of my governor, my own governor, financial governor that I have on myself, because I have to be around a standard of excellence that's beyond mine to help me level up. Most people, listen, now watch this and write this one down. Most people surround themselves with people who give them permission to stay the way they are. Most people surround themselves with other people who give them permission to stay the way they are. Don't be like most people. Raise your standard. Find some books on the subject that you want to get better in. Whatever you want to excel in, somebody's already done it and they're doing it right now. So we have all of this unlimited access to information and data in order to plug into our own daily method of operation to level up. So there's absolutely no excuse for you not to excel. And if you implement these 3 E's, ladies and gentlemen, if you implement these 3 E's, your life will change for the better and it'll stay that way because you're being consistent with these. So first E is energy. Second E is effort. Third E is excellence. Raising your standards. Have an awesome and amazing week. Look forward to hearing some of your success stories this time, same station next week. Let's keep making it do what it do. You all have an awesome week and I'll see you soon. And don't forget, promote this.
Have a great week.
Get people on here. Let them know that we're here. Bring your friends, bring your family, bring your colleagues, and we're going to keep making it do what it do.
Have a good one. Thank you.
You got it.
Thank you so much.
Hey,
Appreciate you.
thanks. Ed, appreciate you. I just managed to catch it.
My man.
I'll definitely be on next week, all right?
All right, all right.
All right, have a blessed one.